students. How are you all? Hope you all had your breakfast. Myself, I Infant Maria Jonah. I am your social science teacher. Are you ready for the session? Hope you all are fine and safe at home and enjoying your Corona holidays, right? Now we are going to see about rocks and soils. This is our unit 1 in geography. Have you all noticed any mountains or rocks in your nearby location? Yes, why not? We all see the rocks and mountains in our nearby location or during in our travel, etc. Right? Now we are going to see about rocks and soils. The learning objectives are to understand the nature of the rocks, their types and uses. To identify the different types of rocks, to study about the nature of soil and its composition, to understand the importance of soil conservation. These are the learning objectives. Today we are going to see about the first two topics. Today we are going to cover the first two topics of understand the nature. What about the nature of the rocks, their types, what are their uses, how to identify the different types of rocks. Now we are going to see the first two topics today. Okay. Have you ever noticed any mountains or rocks nearby your location or during your travel? Have you ever been to any hill station during your vacation? Yes, we go to Ooty, Kodaikanal. These are our hill station during our vacation we visit. Okay. Do you know how they are originated on the earth's surface? No, we all don't know how they are originated in our earth's surface. So, do you know what kind of materials are used in the construction of temples, buildings, roads and flyovers, etc.? We don't know what are the kinds of materials. We don't know. Now we are going to see that in this lesson we will learn about the rocks and soils. In our lower classes, we have studied about 4 realms of the earth. We already know, yes. In our lower classes, we studied about the 4 realms of the earth, namely lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. Repeat again, lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. Lithosphere is nothing but it is the uppermost and significant layer of the earth. Uppermost and significant layer of the earth is called as lithosphere. Lithosphere means the uppermost and significant layer of the earth. It is composed of solid rocks and unconsolidated materials. What is meant by unconsolidated? We don't know, right? This is a big word. So we don't know what is unconsolidated. Unconsolidated is nothing but loosely arranged material. Unconsolidated means, write it in your book. Unconsolidated means loosely arranged. Unconsolidated means loosely arranged material. It is composed of solid rocks and unconsolidated materials. The literal meaning of lithosphere is the sphere of rock. Lithosphere. What is lithosphere? Lithosphere is the uppermost and significant layer of earth. The literal meaning of lithosphere is the sphere of rock. Do you know? Petrology is the branch of geology which deals with the study of rocks. Okay. Now we are going to study about the rocks, right? We are here study about the rocks. The study of rocks, okay, is called as petrology. Petrology is nothing but it is a branch of science which deals with the study of rocks. Petrology is derived from the Greek word. Which word? It comes from the Greek word petrus and logos. Petrus and logos. Petrus is derived from the Greek word. Petrology is derived from the Greek word petrus and logos. Petrus means rock. Logos means steady. Petrus means rock. Logos means steady. Now we all know about what is petrology, right? Petrology is the study of rocks. Petrology is derived from the Greek word petrous and logous. Petrous means rock, logous means steady. Now we are going to see what is rocks. Rocks is nothing but the rocks are the solid mineral materials. The rocks are the solid mineral materials forming a part of the surface of the earth and other similar planets. What is rocks? The rocks are the solid mineral materials forming a part of the surface of the earth and other similar planets. This is the 2-mark question. Mark the rocks or the solid mineral materials from here to in nature. It comes in the 8th line. So, in nature varakum, this is a 2-mark question. What are the rocks? What is the meaning of rocks? Define rocks. So, the rocks are the solid mineral materials forming a part of the surface of the earth and other similar planets. The earth's crust, lithosphere. Where we see lithosphere? We see lithosphere here. The 4 arms of the earth, namely lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. Lithosphere is nothing but it is the uppermost and significant layer of the earth. Okay. Here the earth's crust, lithosphere, is composed of rocks. A rock is an aggregate of one or more minerals. A rock is an aggregate of one or more minerals. Rock is an important natural resources. Which is the natural resources? Rock is an natural resources and is found in solid state. Rock is found in which state? It is in solid state. It may be hard or soft in nature. This is a 2-mark question. Okay. Define rocks. The rocks are the solid mineral materials forming a part of the surface of the earth and other similar planets. The earth's crust, lithosphere, is composed of rocks. A rock is an aggregate of one or more minerals. Rock is an important natural resource and is found in solid state. It may be hard or soft in nature. The estimation reveals that there are 2000 different types of minerals found on the earth's surface. How many types of minerals are found in the earth's surface? There are 2000 different types of minerals found on the earth's surface, out of which only 8 basic minerals commonly found on all over the earth. 8 basic minerals only we used in our day-to-day life. Okay. In which only 8 basic minerals commonly found all over the earth. Minerals are chemical substances which exist in nature. Minerals are the chemical substances. Which substances? Minerals are the chemical substances which exist in nature. They may occur either in the form of elements or compounds. They may occur either in the form of elements or compounds. Now we are going to see the types of rocks. Okay. Here we see about the nature of the rocks. Here is the nature of the rocks. Now we are going to see about their types. Classification of rocks. There are 3 different types of rocks. Okay. There are 3 different types of rocks. Igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, metamorphic rocks. Okay. Igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. Okay. There are 3 types of rocks: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. Here is a 2-mark question. Define rocks. You have to, today this is your homework, you have to write in your note. Okay. This is from this to this. This is a 2-mark question. You have to write it down and send it to the group. Okay. These are the types of rocks: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. Now we are going to see in details about the types of rocks. Okay. These 3 types we are going to see in detail, in briefly. Okay. So here these are the classification of rocks. Okay. There are 3 types of rocks, namely igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, metamorphic rocks. These are the 3 types of rocks. Okay. These are the classification of rocks. Rocks, there are 3 different types of rocks, namely igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. Igneous rocks consists of two types, namely intrusive igneous, extrusive igneous. Okay, igneous consists of two types, namely intrusive igneous, extrusive igneous. Sedimentary rocks consists of two types, organic chemical, inorganic chemical or mechanical. Okay, sedimentary consists of two types, namely organic and inorganic chemical. Metamorphic consists of two types, namely thermal, dynamic. Metamorphic consists of two types, thermal and dynamic. Okay, this is a 5-mark question. Okay, this is the 5-mark question. It ends here. Okay, rocks consists of 3 types and every separate rocks consists of 2 types. Okay, we all clear about rocks and its classification. Now we are going to see about what is igneous rock. What is igneous rock? Igneous rock, this is a 2-mark question, very important 2-mark question. Please note clearly. Igneous rocks, what is igneous rocks or how they are formed, how igneous rocks are formed. Okay, the igneous rocks are formed by the solidification of molten magma. Solidification, we already know that rocks are in solid state. Okay, rocks are in solid state. So the igneous rocks are formed by the solidification of molten magma. Molten magma or solidification la uruvagradhu da igneous rocks. The igneous rocks are formed by the solidification of molten magma. These rocks, this is an example for igneous rocks. Give a good look on this igneous rocks diagram. Okay, these rocks are also called as primary rocks or parent rocks. These rocks are also called as primary rocks or parent rocks, as all other rocks are formed from these rocks. Okay, other rocks are formed from these rocks. This is a main rock. Other rocks are formed from these igneous rocks. Okay, igneous rocks are formed by the solidification of molten magma. These rocks are also called as primary rock or parent rocks, as all other rocks are formed from these rocks. Do you know the word igneous is derived from the Latin word ignis, which means fire. Ignis, ignis means, which means fire. The word igneous derived from the Latin word ignis, which means fire. We all know what is fire, right? So the word ignis means fire. So igneous rock means which is a fire rock. Okay, keep it in mind, it is a fire rock. Okay, the word igneous is derived from the Latin word which means ignis, which means fire. Okay, now we are going to see the characteristics of igneous rocks. Okay, igneous rocks characteristics. The first one, these rocks are hard in nature. We already know the rocks are hard or soft in nature. Okay, but igneous rocks is hard in nature. These are impermeable. They do not contain fossils. They are associated with the volcanic activities. These rocks are useful for construction works. Okay, we all know what is construction. Construction means we see there is a building which is on making in our nearby house, nearby town. We are see that construction work is going on. Somebody says, okay, the construction work is going on in the school, construction work is going on for the temple. We hear these words, right? These rocks are useful for the construction works. These rocks are hard in nature. This is impermeable. They do not contain fossils. They are associated with the volcanic activities. It is associated with volcanic activities, useful for construction works. Okay, these are the characteristics of igneous rocks. These rocks are hard in nature. Hard means nothing but it is kadinathanmai. Impermeable. Impermeable is nothing but the water resistant அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா, water resistant, waterproof. These rocks are waterproof in nature. They do not contain fossils. They are associated with the volcanic activities. These rocks are useful for construction works. Okay, we all are clear about this. Here there are two marks are coming under this topics. What is rocks? Here is a 2 mark, and how the igneous rocks are formed. This is one of the 2 mark. Okay, this all comes under one 5 mark. Okay, now we are going to see what are the types of igneous rocks. There are 2 types of igneous rocks: intrusive igneous, extrusive igneous. There are 2 types. What is intrusive igneous, extrusive igneous? Types of igneous rocks. Igneous rocks are of 2 types. They are extrusive igneous rocks, intrusive igneous rocks. What is extrusive igneous rocks? Can visualize the lava comes under the volcano? We all know what is volcano, right? Can you visualize the lava comes out from the volcano? Volcano is actually a fiery red molten magma comes out from the interior of the earth on its surface. Okay, lava is actually a fiery red molten magma comes out from the interior of the earth on its surface. After reaching the earth, the surface, the molten materials get solidified and form rocks. Rocks formed in such a way on the crust are called extrusive igneous rocks. Okay, the rocks formed in such way. Which way? Get solidified and form rocks. Molten magma comes out from the interior of the earth on its surface. Mark here. Molten magma comes out from the interior of the earth on its surface. These are the very important points. Okay, mark like this. Get solidified and form rocks. These are the hints. Okay, this is very helpful for you to write your test or examination. Okay, these are the hints. Make a hints and important notes like this. Okay, get solidified and form rocks. Okay, what are the example for extrusive igneous rocks is basalt found in the northwestern part. Okay, these are the example. Basalt found in the northwestern part is an example. Okay, rocks formed in such a way on the crust are called extrusive igneous rock. These rocks are fine grained and glassy in nature. Okay, fine grained means finely grained material. Okay, these rocks are fine grained and glassy in nature due to rapid solidification. We all know the rocks are solid in nature. Basalt is an example for extrusive igneous rock. Okay, now we are going to see the type 2 igneous rocks. What is the type 2 igneous rocks? It is intrusive igneous rocks. Intrusive igneous rocks. The molten magma. Where we see molten magma? Here. Okay, the igneous rocks are formed by the solidification of molten magma. The molten magma sometimes cools down deep inside the earth's crust and becomes solid. Okay, the molten magma sometimes cools down deep inside the earth's crust. It cools down deep inside the earth's crust. Okay, earth's crust and becomes solid. The rocks formed this way is called intrusive igneous rocks. It is otherwise called as crystalline rocks. What is it is otherwise called as crystalline rocks? We already know that, right? It is otherwise called as igneous rocks is otherwise called as primary rocks and parent rocks. Intrusive igneous rocks is otherwise called as crystalline rocks. Intrusive igneous rocks are of 2 types. Intrusive igneous are of 2 types. What are they? Plutonic rocks, hybaxial rocks. Plutonic rocks, hybaxial rocks. Hybaxial. Okay, plutonic rocks, hybaxial rocks. The deep-seated rocks are called plutonic rocks. The deep-seated rocks are called as plutonic rocks, and the ones formed at shallow depths are called hybaxial rocks. What is the example of intrusive igneous rocks? What is the example means? Granite. We all see granite, right? Granite. We see in our home, in temples, we see the granite. Okay. Granite is an example for intrusive igneous rocks. Granite diorite, grabo or the example for the plutonic rocks. Okay. Dolerite is an example for hybaxical rocks. There are two types of intrusive igneous rocks. What are they? They are plutonic rocks and hybaxical rocks. It is otherwise called as crystalline rocks. Okay, it is otherwise called as crystalline rocks. What is intrusive igneous? The molten magma sometimes cooled down deep inside the earth's crust and becomes solid. The rocks formed in this way is called as intrusive igneous rock. It is otherwise called as crystalline rocks. Intrusive rocks are of two types: plutonic rocks, hybaxical rocks. Okay. Example for plutonic rocks means granite is the best example for plutonic rocks. Hybaxical rocks example dolerite. Dolerite is an example for hybaxical rocks. Now see this diagram. This is an example for extrusive igneous rocks and intrusive igneous rocks. This is an example. We know the extrusive igneous example enna pathom? Basalt. This is a basalt rock. Okay. This is an extrusive igneous rock. Example for extrusive igneous rocks. This is basalt. We see granite. Okay. This is an example for intrusive igneous rocks. Granite, intrusive igneous rocks. Take a look on this so that you can get the clear view of what is granite and what is basalt. Okay dears. Now we are going to see the next type of rocks, which is sedimentary rocks. Now we are going to see the type 2, second type of the rocks. Okay. Sedimentary rocks. Now we are going to see the types of rocks, second type. Okay. Sedimentary rocks is a second type of rocks. Sedimentary. What is sedimentary? Sedimentary is a nothing but to settle down the particles. Sediment means to settle down. Write it down on your book. Sediment means to settle down. This is the question. 8th first question. What is sedimentary rocks? Sediment means to settle down. The word sedimentary have been derived from Latin word sedimentum, which means settling down. We already know, right? Sediments means to settle down. The word sedimentary has been derived from the Latin word sedimentum, which means settling down. The sedimentary rocks are formed by the sediments derived and deposited by various agents. Okay. These are the sediments which is formed or derived or deposited by various agents. Okay. Various agents derived and deposited by various agents. These sedimentary rocks are formed by sediments derived and deposited by various agents. Okay. It is also called as stratified rocks. This is an important point. It is also called as stratified rocks. The sedimentary rocks are formed by the sediments and derived and deposited by the various agents. Due to high temperature and pressure, the undisturbed sediments of long period cemented to form sedimentary rocks. Sediment means what? To settle down. Due to high temperature and pressure, the undisturbed sediments of long period cemented to form sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks consists of many layers which are formed by the sediments deposited at different periods. Sediments means to settle down, the settled down particles deposited at different periods. Okay, this is called as sedimentary rocks. It is also called as stratified rocks. Sedimentary rocks consists of many layers which are formed by sediments deposited at different periods. Okay, it is also called as stratified rocks. Sedimentary rocks is otherwise called as stratified rocks. Okay. Now, what is an example for sedimentary rocks? We use day-to-day life. We use in our day-to-day life the natural resources like coal, oil, and natural gas. Oil we use in our daily life, right? Sedimentary rocks are the important source of natural resources like oil, coal, and natural gas. Coal, oil, and natural gas are an example for sedimentary rocks. Okay. Now we are going to see what are the characteristics of sedimentary rocks. What are the characteristics? They have many layers. There are different layers in sedimentary rocks. They have many layers. They are non-crystalline rocks. Okay, these are the non-crystalline rocks. They contain fossils. They are soft and get eroded easily. They have many layers. We already know, right? It consists of different layers. Okay, many layers. We already see in the top sedimentary rocks. We know that it has many layers. So they have many layers. They are non-crystalline rocks. They contain fossils. They are soft and get eroded easily. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to see how the sedimentary rocks are formed. Okay, sedimentary rocks are formed by, you can see in this diagram. Okay, do you go to the beach, or you all went to the beach nearby, or any during the vacation you went to any beach? We all go to Chennai beach, right? Besant Nagar beach, Velanganni beach. Yes, we all went to the beaches, right? So imagine a beach here. This is a sea level. Okay, this is a sea level you see on the beach. Okay, sea level. Here is first comes is a stone, then gravel and sand, then mud and silt. Okay, stones, gravel, sand, mud and silt. This is a sea level. Here is a decomposition of sea. Transportation of materials. Deposition in the sea. This is a sea level. Here comes the stone, gravel, sand, mud, silt. This is conglomerate, sandstone, clay or shale. This is a clay. This substance, or here the substance are called as clay. Here is a sandstone. This is conglomerate. This is the sedimentary rocks. How the sedimentary rocks are formed. Here is an example for how they are formed. Okay. Characteristics of sedimentary rocks are, they have many layers. They are non-crystalline rocks. They contain fossils. They are soft and get eroded easily. Now we are going to see the types of sedimentary rocks. What are the types of sedimentary rocks? Organic sedimentary rocks, inorganic chemical or mechanical sedimentary rocks. Here, types of sedimentary rocks. Okay, here there is a, do you know, oldest sedimentary rocks of the world have been identified in Greenland. Oldest sedimentary rocks, where they have found the oldest sedimentary rocks? In Greenland, and estimated as 3.9 billion years old. Oh my god. And it is estimated as 3.9 billion years ago. Okay, oldest sedimentary rocks are found in Greenland. Very good. Now we are going to see these types of sedimentary rocks. First one, organic sedimentary rocks, then mechanical sedimentary rocks, then chemical sedimentary rocks. First we are going to see organic sedimentary rocks. An example for this is chalk. We all know chalk, right? We write on the blackboard using chalk. Okay. These rocks are formed as a result of the decomposition of dead plants and animals. It is formed as a result of the decomposition of dead plants and animals. It contains fossils. Chalk, talc, dolomite and limestone rocks are of this category. What is an example for organic sedimentary rocks? Chalk, talc, dolomite and limestone rocks. These rocks are formed as a result of decomposition of dead plants and animals. Very good. Now we are going to see the second type, mechanical sedimentary rock. You may mark here, okay, fossils varku important one. You may take it as a hint, okay. Mechanical sedimentary rocks. These rocks are formed due to the disintegration of igneous and metamorphic rocks. Where we see igneous rocks, this is here, okay. Igneous rocks is here, okay. Metamorphic rocks we see in the next class, okay. Metamorphic rocks, These are the metamorphic rocks. Here comes the igneous rocks. These rocks are formed due to the disintegration of igneous and metamorphic rocks. The natural agents erode and transport these rocks and deposit them at some places. After a long period of time, they cemented to form rocks. Sandstone, shale and clay are the examples of rock of this type. What is an example for organic sedimentary rocks? Chalk, talc, dolomite. Mechanical sedimentary rocks, what are the examples? Sandstone, shale and clay are the examples of rocks of this type. This type means mechanical sedimentary rocks. These rocks are formed due to the disintegration of igneous and metamorphic rocks. Okay. Now third one, chemical sedimentary rocks. These are formed by precipitating of minerals from water. These are formed by precipitating of minerals from water. It is formed usually through evaporation of chemical rich solution. This is an important point. Okay. First question. These are formed by precipitating of minerals from water. It is formed usually through evaporation of chemical rich solutions. These rocks are also called as evaporites. These rocks are also called as evaporites. Underline this word. It is otherwise called as evaporites. Gypsum is an example of this kind. What is an example of organic sedimentary rocks? Chalk, talc, dolomite and limestone. What is an example of mechanical sedimentary rocks? Sandstone, shale and clay. What is an example of chemical sedimentary rocks? Gypsum is an example. Now we are going to see metamorphic rocks. Okay. Metamorphic rocks is, what is an example of metamorphic rocks means? Chalk, rock salt. We all see the rock salt, right? Chalk and rock salt is an example for metamorphic rocks. The word metamorphic is derived from the two Greek words metamorpha. Okay? Metamorpha. The word metamorphic is derived from two Greek words meta and morpha. Meta means change and morpha means shape. Change of shape. Okay? Change of shape is called as metamorphic rocks. Okay? It is derived from the Greek word meta, morpha. Meta means change, morpha means shape. When igneous and sedimentary rocks subject to high temperature and pressure, okay, how it is formed, how metamorphic rocks are formed. Now we are going to see how metamorphic rocks are formed. It is formed when igneous and sedimentary rocks subject to high temperature and pressure. How metamorphic rocks are formed? It is formed when igneous and sedimentary rocks subject to high temperature and pressure. What is the other name for igneous rocks? We already see, right? What is another name for igneous rocks? Primary rocks and parent rocks. What is the other name for sedimentary rocks? Here is the sedimentary rocks. Other name for sedimentary rocks is stratified rocks. Okay. How metamorphic rocks are formed? It is formed when igneous and sedimentary rocks subject to high temperature and pressure. The original rocks get altered to form a new kind of rock called metamorphic rocks. Metamorphism is of two types, which is thermal metamorphism, dynamic metamorphism. There are two types of metamorphic rocks. Okay, here we see metamorphic rocks are of two types: thermal rocks, dynamic rocks. Thermal metamorphism, dynamic metamorphism. What is thermal metamorphism? If the change in the rocks is mainly caused by high temperature. It is mainly caused by high temperature. The changes caused by high temperature is called thermal metamorphism. When it is changed caused by high pressure, it is called dynamic metamorphism. Okay. If these rocks are changed due to high temperature, it is called thermal metamorphism. If it is changed due to high pressure, it is called dynamic metamorphism. This is one 5-mark questions. Okay, you all see this 5-mark as a difference between sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. This is the points I have already written. This is the first point, distinguish between sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. This is the first point. This is the second point, third point. You all, this is the hints. Okay, these are only the hints. You can make use of it. Okay, here is the first point. When how it is formed? It is formed when igneous and sedimentary rocks subject to high temperature and pressure. This is the first point. Okay. An example for metamorphic rocks are chalk, rock salt. Okay. Now we are going to see the things to remember. One of the world wonders, Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is one among the 7 wonders in India. Was built with white marbles. We know that Taj Mahal is built with white marbles. This is the white marble is a metamorphic rock. This thing we don't know, right? White marbles is made up of white marbles. Taj Mahal is made up of white marbles, which is a metamorphic rock. This is an example for metamorphic rocks. Take a look on this diagram. This is an example for metamorphic rocks.